Now, the Chicago police now investigating the murder of off-duty officer Luis Huesca, who was shot multiple times on his way home from work yesterday, just 2 days from his 31st birthday. He paid tribute just last year to another fallen officer, also shot and killed in a Engage Park.
He's one of those guys that actually deserves this star. He's very proud to wear this star. I think Andres would have been very proud.
Investigators now visibly shaken, highlighting the city's crime crisis.
These are senseless crimes that are taking the lives of our community members. That officer was a victim of the type of crime that he was working against to keep people safe in this city.
Joining us now, Chicago Alderman. He's also a former Chicago police officer, Anthony Napolitano. Sir, thanks so much for joining the program.
Thanks for having me.
So, you know, obviously you come on here as an alderman, but you're also a former cop. What's life like for the men in blue today?
You know, it's dangerous. It's probably the most dangerous profession going right now in the city of Chicago, besides being just a citizen. Nobody's safe here right now. We have leadership in city council that's more worried about funding money towards illegal immigrants and getting more votes for their next election than they are protecting our city and our citizens. My father had a saying, when your police officers aren't safe anymore, you've lost your city. And that's what's going on here.
You know, Anthony, this is a statement from the mayor's office. He said, "My Office of Community Safety in the Chicago Police Department is committed to putting every resource available toward apprehending anyone involved in this morning's shooting and bringing them to justice. As the investigation continues, we will provide immediate updates as they become available." So, you know, I guess this is a statement to say, hey, they're going to catch the killer, but it doesn't address the anti-cop rhetoric. I mean, all of us are against the bad cops that are in the force, including the good cops. But it doesn't seem like the mayor is focusing on the attack on the law enforcement.
No, not at all. And where that statement comes up very short is they're not putting every resource towards finding these offenders. We're actually, in city council, we're actually taking as many resources as we can away from our police officers. We're defunding them as much as possible, or our floor leaders now are defunding them as much as possible. That's a statement that you make after every shooting when you lose a police officer. It's written down, it's somewhere in a drawer, they just pull it out and hand it to them, and that's what they read. It's not the truth. They have a better chance of this offender winning a lawsuit against the city of Chicago for unfortunately getting this poor officer's blood on his clothes, and he'll sue the city and win what we call the city lottery, because they don't care about police officers. They don't care about citizens anymore. We've lost our city, and no one's doing anything about it anymore. So I don't believe any of that talk anymore. They're taking away ShotSpotter. They're taking police out of our schools. They're demonizing the police, and they're celebrating the lawsuits against these police officers every week in city council. They're not fighting any of them. Where there's a good case, or they're not fighting them, they're settling them, because it demonizes the police department even more and makes them look like the enemy.
Anthony, I'm just curious, because you guys are going to have to prepare for a funeral for Officer Luis. Will the mayor even be welcome?
Yeah, the mayor will be welcome. You know, you can't put what happened on the mayor. He's a human being. He's a man. He's a family man, too. I'm sure he does love his officers in his heart. It's just where this administration is going, and where our floor leaders on city council are going. They hate the police, and they state it as much as possible that they have no love for our police, and they're going to defund them every day they possibly can. The mayor will be there, and he will be saddened by what happened.
Anthony, the law enforcement being bigger people in this tragedy. Thank you so much for joining the program.